Well, yesterday the Carbon Pricing Leadership Coalition officially launched. And so this has been a process that's been underway for a little more than a year. The World Bank put together a coalition of signatories to a statement calling for a price on carbon for the climate summit in September 2014 in New York. And then some of those people wanted to sit down together and work on policy, and so it was decided that the World Bank would share its convening authority with a network of partners, and we would build a coalition designed to make policy. So for most of 2015, Citizens Climate Lobby and other strategic partners like the World Bank, the OECD, the Ceres Investor Group, the We Mean Business Coalition, etc., have been getting together to talk about the best way to design this coalition. In September, we had a design meeting for the governance strategy. The World Bank put out principles called FASTER that talk about universal principles for successful carbon pricing. And they include a variety of different options. Fiscal dividends are in there, which is something we like in Citizens Climate Lobby. Upstream fees and administrative efficiency, that's in there. Socially equitable pricing, all these things that we think are important made their way in there. And then yesterday what happened was this new coalition officially became part of the international policymaking system. And so according to the new governance strategy and the work plan, in April of 2016, the first annual assembly will happen, and you'll have executive level representatives from each of the partners. That includes organizations like Citizens Climate Lobby and the World Bank. It also includes business coalitions and businesses like oil companies such as Statoil, and it includes governments. So there's the possibility that our executive director is sitting at the same table with Angela Merkel, hashing out a strategy for the mission of this coalition, and the mission is to have every country in the world pricing carbon in its own way by 2020. The news that we're hoping people can kind of get their minds around is that one of the hardest things for the Paris conference to achieve has just been accomplished on day one.
And it's been kind of accomplished outside of the main negotiation space.
Yeah, the French government has been saying that they would like the world to be thinking about the Paris outcome as 4 pillars. So one pillar is the Paris Agreement and the legal decisions that are related to that. The second pillar is the national strategies, the INDCs, which will become active plans. The third pillar is financing. And then the fourth is action platforms for implementation. And the Carbon Pricing Leadership Coalition is one of those action platforms. So without anything in the text having to say that this is going to happen, it is going to happen. So there were actually 2 events yesterday. The first event was the launch of the Carbon Pricing Leadership Coalition, and that was done in one of the pavilions inside the negotiating venue, so the space was limited. A number of the strategic partners were able to be there, and there were also government representatives who spoke about what they're doing on carbon pricing. And the real purpose of that meeting was to adopt the work plan for work going forward. It wasn't meant to be a public meeting, but afterwards there was a media event where various heads of state that have joined a high-level carbon pricing panel to help carry this work forward were gathered on stage together and each gave their views of what this is all about. So one of the big pieces of news from yesterday is that Canada, which was not formerly in favor of carbon pricing, has now joined the Carbon Pricing Leadership Coalition, and the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, was there at that media event to explain why. And he was joined by Enrique Peña Nieto from Mexico, Michelle Bachelet from Chile, François Hollande from France, Angela Merkel, and also Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Desalegn. And so basically this was a packed room, over 500 people, all there to celebrate the fact that carbon pricing is moving forward across the world. And it's day 1.
Well, that bodes well.
Yeah.
Citizens' Voice.
Citizens' Voice.
Citizens' Voice.
Citizens' Voice.
Citizens' Voice.
Citizens' Voice.